Welcome back to the Student of the Game podcast. Once again, thank you all for tuning in. Please hit that like and subscribe button. It's free of charge. All right, people. X-Men 97. How we feeling about it? How are we feeling about this? So we're going to be doing spoilers here. We're talking about episodes 1 and 2. So, of course, we're going to talk about episode 1 first, but I'm really feeling this show. I'm really feeling this show. Had a few friends, they tell me, they say, hey, man, don't lower your expectations on this. No, I wasn't going to lower my expectations on this because you don't bring X-Men, the animated series, back out of hibernation. Well, let me not say hibernation. You don't make new episodes and not have them meeting the same expectations as the X-Men and the animated series from 92 to 96 or Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. You don't bring those shows back. You don't make new episodes and not have them be dope. You know what I'm saying? Because if that's the case, then why even bring it back? Because people were still watching the original episodes from back in the day. So episode 1, oh man, my thoughts are all over the place on episode 1. I really want to jump into how I feel about episode 2, but we got to talk about episode 1 first. Once again, spoilers. If you haven't watched it, hit pause, then go watch them and come back and we can talk about this together, okay? But anyways, man, so let the cat out the bag. Jean's pregnant. Jean Grey's pregnant. She's pregnant, all right? But for some reason, I don't think that's Cyclops' baby. I'm looking at my notes right here because I was jotting down some notes. You know, like I don't trust Jean the same way I learned not to trust Professor Xavier as I got older. Dude be putting mind blocks on people. He was able to put mind blocks on Jean Grey. You understand? So you mean that so he can protect her? So you mean to tell me he ain't putting mind blocks on the other people? You mean to tell me Jean Grey, she didn't put mind blocks on anybody else? She always played this game with, be pitting Cyclops and Wolverine against each other. It almost felt like, well, I know the Jean, Cyclops, and Wolverine love triangle was in existence before The Walking Dead. Because if you go back and look at The Walking Dead, you saw how Lori kept pitting Rick, her husband, against his best friend, Shane. Like, that was so annoying. Like, leave them dudes alone, man. But I don't know, for some reason, I get the vibe that it it might not be Cyclops' baby. And the thing about it is this. She possesses the ability to make Cyclops believe that it's his and there's zero doubt. And she's also possessed the ability to make, like, if Wolverine believed that and thought that that was his kid, she possessed the ability to make him believe that is not. But even though he's strong mentally, and I think what it is that he's putting the pieces together. He knows something is off because there was a scene where he said, yeah, it's a lot of people holding secrets about stuff and whatever, and it's like, I wonder what secret he was talking about. Some people feel like, okay, well, maybe Scott and Jean, they want to leave. That's the secret he was referring to. But no, that's too obvious, okay? Wolverine, he has a knack for, like, uncovering things that everybody else can't see or smell or hear. So I'm gonna be paying attention to that or whatever. But I hope it's Scott's. I hope it's Scott's. All right. Speaking of Scott, I have a new respect for Cyclops. I think the next X-Men movie that they make, I'm not saying center it around Cyclops the way they center it around Wolverine, because with the movies they center it around Wolverine so much to the point it just felt like Wolverine and the X-Men. But I do believe that you got to have Scott Summers. You got to give him more screen time. At least he has to be a top 3 lead in the movie because his character is important. And then this allows us to watch the X-Men movies whenever, let's say, if Hugh Jackman permanently returns or they bring in a new Wolverine. Well, Wolverine doesn't always have to be the main guy, the franchise dude, because you got other guys, you got other characters that we can, what's the word I'm looking for, that we can look at and dive into. And Cyclops, he has a very interesting storyline, you know. So I want to see that. All right. And plus I heard Mr. Sinister is rumored to be the villain in the upcoming X-Men movies. So that would make sense. Like Wolverine, like Sinister, he has ties to Cyclops, Jean, Morph, and Gambit. So I would love to see that and explore that. So I think that would be pretty dope. I don't know. What do y'all think about that? All right. So I love the chemistry between Gambit and Rogue. I love it. I mean, haven't missed a beat. I know I was upset how they did Rogue's figure, but hey, after watching the show, I'm not gonna lie, I forgot about that. I forgot I even did that video, but I love their chemistry. Now, you know, if if Vision and Wanda, if WandaVision can have their own show, we got dog it, Gambit and Rogue, they can have their own movie. Okay, like I can see them being like a Bonnie and Clyde, the mutant versions of like Bonnie and Clyde, but cooler and with powers. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be really cool. That'd be really awesome. You know, but there's some stuff that's going on that has me upset, and I'm gonna come back to that. Come back to that. But yeah, I love the Gambit and Rogue connection, man. Love it. Um, I was feeling Bishop. I was really feeling Bishop, man. I was feeling Bishop until he said the word future. He said future, people. They made Bishop say future. Now, if you watch the X-Men the animated series, you know, all right, Bishop, he doesn't say future. He says future. Future. I mean, I think the voice, the actor that's doing the voice acting for Bishop, I think he did everything right except for that part. Missed the mark right there. You gotta say future. Like, did you not watch the X-Men animated series? Like, come on, man. You got future, not future. That's not how Bishop talks. He can say every other word correct or whatever, you know, or proper or whatever, but future should be future. Because this is supposed to be a continuation of X-Men the animated series. And if it's a continuation, he has to say future. But anyways, other than that, I like Bishop. Bishop was awesome. Bishop was awesome. All right. Like the whole scene where he was fighting the Sentinels and they blasted him and then he blasted them back. And I'm like, all right. And if you're Bishop, you're like, man, these Sentinels here are no problem. He's used to dealing with Nimrod. Okay. So, but let's see. Jean. Now, I don't think Jean should be allowed to use her powers while she's pregnant. We saw her when she wasn't pregnant in X-Men the animated series, the original. And whenever she used her powers, she'll be doing something and then I'm drained. It's like, do you not, like, how much time do you log in? How many hours you logging in the danger room? Why are you always so tired after you use your powers? Your stamina sucks. Now, add that to the fact that she's pregnant. You know, when women are pregnant, they get tired a lot quicker. And I was waiting on her to pass out when she was using her powers. And she didn't pass out. Now, I think what happened was people kept talking about how Jean always passed out. And it was like, man, we don't want her passing out in the first couple episodes. But it's like, it would have made sense for her to pass out. Not saying I wanted her character to pass out, but if she's passing out when she's not pregnant, when she's using her powers. So when she's using her powers and she is pregnant, you would expect her to pass out. Unless she was able to somehow channel the energy of her baby that's inside her. And the baby, we all know, is going to be Nathan Summers. Was one of the most powerful mutants out there. So maybe he was keeping her afloat, making sure she didn't pass out. So that's probably, you know what? That's probably what it was. That's why she didn't pass out, people. That's my theory. I could be right or I could be wrong. It doesn't matter. But she represented though. She represented though. Like, hey, she's pregnant. You know what I'm saying? And she was doing her thing. Her and Scott, they're in a position. They're trying to step their games up and be leaders and fulfill and carry out Professor Xavier's legacy. So I totally respect that. All right, so Morph was doing the doggone thing. Like, and that's what I'm saying. I love what Morph was doing. There was Wolverine falling out the sky. He turned into Archangel. Okay. There was a battle. You know what I'm saying? At one point, he turned into Colossus. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, man, doggone Morph doing the doggone thing, yo. And I'm gonna tell you something. I think Morph and Mystique, I believe those are the only two mutants. And Rogue. I would include Rogue, but mainly I'm gonna say Morph and Mystique in X-Men Days of Future Past, like those two, I wish we could have saw them fight the new Sentinels that was at the end that can shapeshift, because Morph can shapeshift right with them, So I thought that would have been real cool. But yeah, man, Morph was representing. He's not a liability in this one here. Not a liability at all. Now, the Sentinels, they put mad respect on Storm, man. Like, this almost felt like some Captain Marvel stuff, because you remember in Avengers Endgame, all of a sudden they were shooting the Avengers, Thanos' army, and then all of a sudden they stopped, and then they started focusing on the sky because they sensed a bigger threat coming in, and that bigger threat was Captain Marvel. Well, that's what the Sentinels, they gave that same respect to Storm. They say Omega mutant threat alert, and it's Storm, and she just bodied them, man. Bodied them. And I'm like, oh, they OP'd Storm. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what I'm talking about. And every time I see this Storm here in the X-Men animated series, I keep thinking about Angela Bassett, man. I think she could still play the role live action. Halle Berry did the doggone thing. Alexandria Ship, I thought she did a wonderful job. But Angela Bassett, we got to see her as Storm somehow, some variant or whatever. But she did the doggone thing, man. Omega level threat detected. That's what they said. Now, when the trailer came out, my favorite part was when Gambit charged up Wolverine's claws. And we got to see that scene executed where he charged his claws up, right? And then Wolverine jumped up and he said, Morph, give me a bounce. And Morph turned into the Blob, and Wolverine bounced off the Blob's belly, and then just like he slit the Sentinel's throat, but it was just smooth. It was like those Cutco knives, smooth, all right, because he had Gambit's kinetic energy being charged into his claws. So I thought that was cool. So I'm like, okay, man, I want to see more of that. I got to see more of that. Another good scene. Oh, Beast. Of course, man. Beast be doing Beast type things, man. I love the way he fought the Sentinels. He went inside the heart and he said that change of heart line. When he said that gave me a tear, because it's like, if I could change, and if you could change, if they could change, the Sentinels could change, then we all could change. You know what I'm saying? And then he had the Sentinel beating the other Sentinels up. That was real cool, man. That was real cool. I like that, man. I like that. I got pretty geeked out on that. And then but Beast, he doesn't sound exactly like the Beast from the original. I don't know if that's the same actor, but I thought he did a good job. I mean, I'm getting used to his voice. Let's see what else. Yeah, now when Cyclops said, "Come to me, my X-Men," in the trailer, I didn't really get it. I'm like, "What you mean, your X-Men? Is Professor Xavier taking over your mind or something?" But I get it. He's trying to build that camaraderie. He's trying to fill that void. He's trying to be Professor X. So he said, "My X-Men." Okay, that's cool. I mean, but you can just say X-Men. You know what I'm saying? Because there's only one X-Men as far as I know. One X-Men group in this show, as far as I know. But anyways, okay. But that didn't last long. That didn't last long because at the end, Magneto comes and says, "Yeah, Charles gave everything to me. Here's the wheel." Boom. So this is my X-Men. It's as if Magneto was watching and he saw Cyclops say my X-Men and he said, you know what? Let me go ruin Summers, the Summers parade. You know what I'm saying? Let me bring fall and winter to Summers because hey, this is my X-Men. This is my X-Men. I'm the captain. Now, look, he's like, look at me. Look at me. This is my X-Men. You hear me? You hear me? Got wax in your ears? All right, but yeah, man. So I thought episode 1 was dope. I loved it. So episode 2, very Magneto centered heavily around Magneto. So Magneto, man. So the first thing he does, he saves the Morlocks because crazy ass humans were messing with the Morlocks, and he saved them, and he sent the Morlocks to Genosha. And I'm like, oh, that's smart. And he told the other X-Man, he says, I'm doing something that what y'all should have done and what Charles should have done with his money. Get the Morlocks from that situation and move into a better situation. But I think the reason why the X-Men, why they didn't do that is because Callisto, which one is it? Callista? Yeah. She was the leader down there. That's their home. They love where they was at. They love their community. You know what I'm saying? They was in the bottoms. They had no problem with that. They was cool with it. And you send her to Genosha, she's not gonna have as much power as she normally had. But I'm pretty sure Magneto hooked her up with some type of leadership role over there because I don't see her going there willingly without having some type of leadership role. Because if that's the case, I think she would have just stayed where she was at, and they would have been better prepared for the humans whenever they come next time. But that was a real good move by Magneto. That's showing some true leadership right there. Now, Jean went into labor, and of course she goes into labor. Why? It's just her and Wolverine at the house. But they get to the hospital. Well, one of her concerns, I think she told us the Storm. She was saying that, she didn't she was worried about her and Scott's baby being a mutant. And I'm like, well, if you was worried about that, then why did you marry another mutant? You love your baby, you love your child. You know what I'm saying? Be proud of that. So don't be not proud of it. So that's you and Scott's baby. But oh, and also, man, shout out to Jubilee. I didn't even mention Jubilee in the first episode. She looks older, very more wiser, more mature. I like how they drew her. She's less annoying, and I like her character, man. I like her character. I mean, I liked her in the original one later on, but I think, we're gonna see her take on a real pivotal role or whatever, especially after what we find out at the end of episode 2. We're gonna get to that. Let me hurry up and get to that. All right. Now, I don't like this Magneto and Rogue relationship stuff one bit. I don't. I understand that in the comic book, and this happened I think there was a series of comic books. It was Magneto and Rogue. And I remember being in the comic book store and I saw that. Well, you know what? I was in the comic book store. I had an X-Men comic. And like in the back, it showed like a different preview or upcoming titles and spinoffs. And I remember I saw that and I'm like, I wanted to puke. I wanted to puke. I don't know how old I was. Might have been about 10 to 12 years old. I wanted to straight up puke. But technically they're being comic book accurate, I guess, right? But I'm like, I don't like the unnecessary drama in this. I mean, we already got one love triangle going on. Like, no, these are my two favorite. Don't mess over Gambit like that, man. Don't do that. Don't do that, man. But hey, we'll see how that plays out. But I don't like that one bit. Don't like it at all. Don't man. Don't like it at all. What else we have? So You know how I told you how Storm was Omega level mutant and everything, and what she is? Well, this Executioner guy, he's from the Friends of Humanity. And this dude here came in and just bodied everybody that was there. And because Magneto was on trial, he just bodied everybody. And he had this weapon where he wanted to use it on Magneto. And if he would have shot Magneto, if the bullet would have hit Magneto, it's gonna take, it would have permanently takes away his powers. It would have hit Magneto, but guess who jumps in the way? Storm. What I didn't understand was is that why did she just use the wind and either move Magneto out the way or the wind to blow the doggone bullet away? Why did she have to go dive in there? Like, why? Why did she have to do that? She could have just said wind or lightning. You know, she could have just did that. But at the same time, you know, or she could have just said, Magneto, look out. And then he could have got that bullet out. He controls metal. Was the bullet made of metal? I don't know. But she sacrificed herself for Magneto. Why are all these women sacrificing themselves for Magneto? Rogue sacrificing her relationship with Gambit for Magneto. In X-Men The Last Stand, Mystique, she jumped in front of the bullet and lost her powers permanently, sacrificing herself for Magneto. Now Storm, Omega level mutant, sacrificing herself for Magneto. Oh my God. Was upset. Very upset at that. And the way that episode played out, you know, they sacrificed Storm. I don't like that. So now it seems like the only reason you got Bishop there is to replace Storm as the only black X-Man. God forbid, we have two black X-Men on there. You know, so that sucked, man. That sucks. But I'm trying to see the green light at the end of the tunnel here, and I do remember seeing something a couple weeks ago that in What If Season 3, Storm is going to be in there. And they said that Storm will wield Mjolnir. Now, I'm thinking this is going to probably tie into that because, you know, I remember when Thor lost his powers in the first Thor movie? And then he had to show that he was worthy to get Mjolnir again. I think Storm is going to, I'm not saying she was never humble or anything, but she's going to be even humbled even more. And she's going to end up being worthy. She might be already worthy to wield Mjolnir. So I'm not sure how she going to come across it, but I think that's what's going to happen. And I'm looking forward to that. She left at the end. And that letter she wrote, it made me want to cry. Actually, I did shed a tear. I did. Didn't shed so many tears, Pac style, but I shedded a little tear. And it was a kind of tear of joy because I'm like, I know where she's going. She's going home. She's going back home. She's going to Wakanda. She's going to go see her boo T'Challa. That's what's going on. Hey, you know what? If they can have Rogue and Magneto be together like they was in a few comics or whatever, where you can have Storm and T'Challa be together. So we're gonna see T'Challa. We're gonna see the Black Panther. We're gonna see T'Challa, not T'Challa Jr., not Toussaint. We're gonna see T'Challa there. T'Challa and Storm, and you know what? I think that's cool. And I think that's a way whenever they introduce the X-Men in the live action in the MCU, they can kind of piggyback off of that. But I think it's going to get a real good response. I really do. And I'm looking forward to seeing that. You know, we're going to see her go to Wakanda. I mean, so we're going to see her go back home. I'm not saying she's from Wakanda, but I think that's where she's going to go. Because she's going to go there, and T'Challa's smart. You know what I'm saying? She gonna hook up. She gonna go see T'Challa and Shuri and them to see about trying to get her powers back because she sees once she saw that Beast wasn't able to help her, she's gonna go to T'Challa. That's where she's going. All right, that's where she's gonna go. Some people may be like, well, why didn't she go see Reed Richards? Well, here's the thing: T'Challa and Reed Richards are cool. So she gonna go see T'Challa. T'Challa gonna see what he can do. He probably gonna talk to Reed, and they gonna put their minds together and see what they can do about this. I'm looking forward to this. And also, you're gonna see her. Storm is gonna go go communicate with a homegirl Sue Storm because they used to have a rap group called Storm, Storm and Storm. You know what I'm saying? Because Sue Storm and Storm. So, but I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that. I think that's gonna be pretty cool. But I hate that she lost her powers. But hey, I think she's gonna get them back. She better get them back, all right? Or we riot, right? Okay, so let's see what else we had. Oh, and at the end, okay, so at the end we saw another Jean Grey. We saw another Jean Grey, people. What the hell is going on? Something sinister is going on, folks. Something sinister is going on here. Something sinister is going on. She came to the door and it's like, okay. And I remember the comics and stuff. I remember the character Madeline Pryor. If I'm not mistaken, Mr. Sinister created her or used the Summers DNA to create her, and Jean's DNA to create her. So which one's the real Jean? Because I think Jean had supposedly died in the Dark Phoenix episode. So I got to go back and rewatch that. I'm not sure how they did that in the animated series. Comment, share your comments below if you remember how they did that in the animated series. But yeah, so it's it's about to get weird up in here with this, man. But I don't know what, and you know what? I can't wait to, well, I would say Wolverine should be able to sniff that out because his nose and stuff, but it's like if if the character has um if Madeline Pryor, like if that was the original Jean that showed up at the door, then that means that's Madeline, it's really Madeline Pryor that's been at the X Mansion with I was gonna say Scott Skiles with um not Michael Scott with Scott with Cyclops. So hmm hmm Wolverine will be able to tell the difference, but if both have the same DNA, then he might not be able to tell the difference. But that might also be why he was talking about people got secrets and all this stuff going on. And that might be the reason why Jean didn't pass out because that's Madeline Pryor. And you remember Sinister, he always want is about doing things and creating experiments to improve mutants. So what's going on is that the original, you know what? I think the one at the door, that's the original Jean because she looked like she was about to pass out because she walking all the way from the driveway all up to that front door and knocking. That's a lot. That's a long walk for her. So she probably gonna pass out. So the one that was actually pregnant, I think that's Madeline Pryor. And when she used her powers, she didn't pass out because that's not the original Jean. That's Madeline Pryor pretending to be Jean. Boom. I cracked it. I cracked it, right? All right. But anyways, I probably didn't crack anything, but I enjoyed both episodes, man. I enjoyed both episodes. And I'm gonna tell you something. On a scale of 1 to 10, it was beyond my expectations. Those first two episodes were incredible. Scale of 1 to 10, each episode gets a 10 from me. Gets a 10. Gets a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that's what it gets from me. Um, hmm. These episodes here, they were like X-Men, the anime series, seasons 1 through 4, fire. Season 5, different animation. The only two episodes that I liked in season 5 was the Phalanx series. It was like episodes. That was like 2 or 3 episodes. I thought that was like epic, man. That reminded me of like like watching Outbreak or something, you know. So that was real awesome. So, but man, this is a lot. This is a lot, man. So I guess they're gonna be dropping 2 episodes a week. I think I'm gonna have to check, or maybe it's just two each day. I don't know. But at one point, I thought they were releasing all of them at once. But hey, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. But anyways, share your thoughts. Let me know. What did you think about X-Men 97, the animated series? Did you hate it or love it? Did you like it? You thought it was alright? Thought it was okay? Man, share your thoughts. Tell me what you didn't like and tell me what you did like about it. And please hit that like and subscribe button. I know this video was longer than my normal videos, but hey man, I couldn't talk about all this in a short. I may just create a short off of some of this or whatever. But man, thank you all for tuning in. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Student of the Game Podcast. Peace out.